So in the Limor studio here at SPG Dublin 24, I have one of Ireland's most famous hookers. Has definitely probably moved more balls than any other hooker. Rugby player Shane Byrne, the original mullet.
A lot of people are going, damn it,
rugby player. Yeah. I thought she was going to be good looking.
This is going to be dead.
He's like, maybe we will get one on for some hooker stories in the future. But anyway, introduce yourself, Shane.
Yeah, how are you doing? The Shane Byrne, ex-rugby player, now rounding up nicely in a retirement kind of way.
Yeah, you look it.
Yeah, thanks very much.
You go for the Swiss ball look, is it?
Yeah, correct. I'm modelling myself.
I'm trying myself, but I'm ending up as a rake.
More than one Swiss ball, that's the issue.
Now, when I say that, some of those boats are 4-man boats, 3-man boats and 2-man boats. There's just 7 of us kind of solo lunatics at the back.
The Irish!
Yeah.
At the back.
Because they leave us, I say that because we all start on the same day, but they start us at 15-minute intervals and they leave the solos right to the end. So I have to look at all these other boats taking off going, I'll never see them again because they're obviously much faster. So
take a picture.
Yeah.
And the thing is, even the company of being on a boat with somebody else is different. Either that or you'd kill him. You'd go out as a double man and you'd come back as a single man.
I don't know how
they make it.
I don't know how those lads do it in the 2-man boats because I don't care if it's be very hard even if it's your best mate.
Oh, me too.
You know, it's a 7-meter long, 2-meter wide at its widest point boat, so there's not a lot of space to get away from.
Oh, 100%. It would be a Royal Rumble to the death on that boat. Would be, you know what I mean? Whoever goes overboard stays overboard. One of my mates, Shawnee, his name is, right? And anybody who clarify this story, he's from Maribor Lane. Years ago, right? He was on top of the flats and he fell off the top of the flats and you wouldn't believe it. Do you know how he survived? He landed on a motorbike.
No.
I swear to God, Roddy. Right? He said he stood up, right, and his leg was turned backwards. Now he runs boxing clubs and all now, and he's such a great guy for the community, you know. Yeah. But he fell off a fucking flat, landed on a motorbike, the suspension saved him. No. And he said he stood up and his leg was turned the other way around.
Oh man. I remember my brother fell off. My brother was climbing the flats, John, as well, and he was climbing from the 4th floor to the 2nd floor, and midway he fell off and landed on his back, and then he winded himself pretty bad. He was in a heap on the ground. But his mate Niall Quinn, now I used to end up hanging around with Niall Quinn. Niall's a mad buzzer, like, he's a mess.
But he's not there, Niall Quinn, no?
No, not there, Niall Quinn. But Niall Quinn runs down to me, ma. John's after falling off the flats. Me ma nearly has a heart attack. She almost collapses, and then John comes crawling in the door like at the horn in his back, but nothing major like. But Niall Quinn, yeah, he fell off the flats. Me man's like, he's dead. He's dead. But that was the crazy, you know, they were the fun things. You just had to find stuff to occupy yourself because there wasn't much else, like, you know what I mean. So you did what you did. Like.
The track "Hit 'Em Up" dropped. Yes. When you hear that first, your expression on your face, what was it like?
With knowing Pac though, you know that I know Pac, he's full of surprises. You know what I mean. And Pac was, man, that dude was the type of he go all out. Pac is the type of person, if he's your friend, he's your friend. I'm talking about he will put his career on the line, his life on the line, and you seen that. Even if you don't, I don't know if anybody's seen the movie when he got out and shot them 2 police officers. This was true. You know what I mean? Pac just was driving down the street and he seen 2 police officers and they was beating up a young African American. So Pac looked at it like, what is they doing to him? And they had guns. Pac jumped out, shot both of them. And
both cops?
He didn't know they was undercover cops.
Right.
And they was drunk, you know. So when he went back to his hotel chilling, knock, it's Tupac, and you arrested for shooting 2 off-duty police. He beat the case because the cops was drunk and the gun that they had was stolen. So he was that type of individual that he would ride with you, even if he don't know you. So when he's your friend, he's your friend. But when he's your enemy, he's your enemy. He's going to make life hell for you. So when he did that, hit him up, it was just the beginning of him saying, I'm going to make Biggie cry.
And as I said, my memory's like an elephant with this. You were stood on the stage for a good little while, was he? Right, was he?
Oh, Jesus.
And it was the most awkward moment in the world, wasn't it?
Yeah, so John Ferguson says to me, I'm going to put on this, you know, epic music. I don't know, it was from Gladiator or something. Before your actual walkout music. I says, no, because what'll I do? I want you to stand there for a minute and a half. So I stood there and I went through my little shadowboxing routine and then I didn't know what to do. So I was like, what will I do now? And then I started shadowboxing again and I started feeling really awkward.
Even when your mates ran up
and then my mate O'Brien, locked out of his mind, comes over to me and says, give us a hug, Roddy. And I says, I can't give you a hug, I'm getting ready to fight. And he told me to fuck off.
No,
he says, fuck off then. and then walks off, and then I'm like, it started getting real weird. But no matter what goes on, like, you can be very nervous beforehand. You can be terrified. You can fall. They can mess up your song. They can do whatever. But for me, anytime like that happened, you know, I'd be annoyed. But as soon as you walk through the doors, it's gone. Everything is gone because it's game on. And but yeah, John Ferguson had me standing up there for 3.5 minutes bleeding. I done all the combinations that I could think of. And then I just
know everything I have now.
Then I started just kind of throwing straight punches, walking down. Oh, it was weird. It was so awkward. Like, it was like, this is fucking weird, man. But I as I said, I overcame and came through it. And
definitely. Aaron Chalmers is working his way up to fight Conor McGregor. Now, I'd like to see his face when he's reading this stuff. Like, it's like saying, hey, I'd bash that bully after school, and then all of a sudden the guy hears about it and you now have to fight him after school. To me, I think that's going to be the situation where he's going to build himself into a situation that he's probably not ready for, where he could be a really, really, really good fighter.
Yeah.
I think if he actually put 5-6 years into learning his jiu-jitsu, learning his wrestling, learning his striking, and then fighting somebody, I really believe he has to fight somebody that has fought somebody and won the next time.
Yeah.
What's your view on the whole situation?
Well, that's the thing. As you said, he's 3-0 now, so if you're going to match him based on his record, you're putting him in with people like you mentioned, Richie Smullen and stuff like that, and that to me is dangerous. Because Richie Smullen devours someone like that.
Devour him.
So you kind of have to tread carefully there. First thing I would say is I have absolutely huge respect for Aaron Chalmers or anybody who steps into the cage, because before you even get into the cage to fight a bum or whoever it might be, it's a huge challenge to get there, to come through a training camp, to have the bottle and the mental strength to, you know, deal with the pre-fight nerves and stepping out in front of a crowd and putting yourself on the line like that. That's not an easy thing to do. And I never fought MMA, but whenever I thought about, you know, if I could have done it, that's always the part that would have kind of intimidated me a bit more, is actually the tension and the build up and actually, you know, getting there. I think once you get in there, you probably, you know, there's probably a perverted satisfaction in taking a few slaps, you know.
There actually is.
Yeah.
I have to ask you about Tinder. Since we said sliding left, sliding right, you had to ask me, where's the best place in the world for Tinder?
Moscow.
He said the same thing.
It's absolutely
He said the same thing. Phenomenal.
Never seen it
like a joke. Like a joke.
Oh my god.
And
I never felt so good about myself.
Where is it you say that you land again?
What's that? Oh, Antigua.
Would you be logging on in Antigua?
Rapidly, yeah. Once I come inside the land.
Pushing people out of the way.
Yeah.
Swipe left.
Wi-Fi connection, where is it? I suppose I was always really competitive and determined and always wanted to push myself to the limit, and I felt I'd gone as far as I could go in horse racing. So I was finishing my degree in 2015, and that January I swiped a guy on Tinder that was a fighter. I won't say who it was, but
Tinder. The second episode of Tinder's been around about 3 or 4 times. We were talking about Tinder Moscow last episode. Yeah, it's supposed to be the best country in the world for Tinder.
No way.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that now.
Well, look, if you're looking for a change in your life, you wouldn't know.
Tinder is great. Nothing wrong with Tinder.
We need to get Tinder as a sponsor on this show.
Does Tinder want to sponsor me? This is a great story.
This is a great story for Tinder, yeah.
So swiped this guy, and he was a fighter. And
Al, isn't it? Al?
Who it was?
The guy you swiped?
No.
All right, go again. Oh shit!
Like, who's Al?
Go again.
No. Alan's my boyfriend now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, it wasn't him. He's glad that I got rid of the other fella.
It was a different Tinder.
Yeah.
Go,
so anyway, he told me all about being a fighter, and I was just intrigued, and I thought, God, this is a mad sport. Like, I never even knew who Conor McGregor was. And then I was listening to this, I was like, Jesus. So I started looking it up and said, God, I bet I could do that. Like, I'm strong and I'm competitive, and let's get rid of the horse and let's just be me. Because when it's me and the horse, it's my performance and their performance, but let's just have it just be me.
You're not making the cut horse.
No.
Shagger, you're gone.
Yeah, they got the jag, so they did her.
And so the idea of them 7 days, man.
Yeah.
Like, I can only imagine that being one of my friends.
Yeah.
And you're waiting for 7 days. Did you think he was going to pull through?
I thought he was going to pull through.
I think I've heard that everyone say that.
Because knowing Pac, you know, it just was like...
He's going to make an album.
Even for me, we like, man, this guy going to make it through, man. Pac is a warrior. But when I actually went in the hospital room, and I saw him that's when reality kicked in, because I never seen him in that position, humble with wires and everything down his throat, and it was a bad sight.
They removed the lung and stuff like that.
It was a bad sight to see. That's when I realized, like, his mother, his sister, very strong people. So for the first couple of days, they wasn't letting no one in. Just the mother was inside with the sister. And
Jeez, that's
like
just
the first 2 days, and then that's when she came to the rest of the Outlaws, like, okay, I want y'all to go in and see him. But every day when we was talking to the mother and the sister, like, how's Pop? Oh, he's good, he's strong, he's going, like, they strong.
And they were probably protecting him because they knew what type of person he was, because that's how he is. He's
for sure.
Because even it gives me shivers talking about things like that. Which
man,
is,
it's deep,
that's incredible, man.
It's deep, man.
It really
It's
is a deep situation.
It's deep, bro.
And with someone that, like, as I said, has scarred the planet in so many good ways as well. And
a lot of people were shocked, man. Even to this day, man, like people love Pac. You know what I mean? You
100%.
see, a lot of people still shocked. You know, even some days I sit back like, damn, man, damn, I just wish he wouldn't have went.
Actually, a little bird told me, Shane, that when you were playing rugby, you didn't like sharing your shampoo.
Yeah, this as well. Now look at the hair he has for it. That's advice, kids. Don't share your shampoo.
Well, like. Yeah, because that would be, I would be the only one bringing shampoo, because I had to bring shampoo into the shower. So I'd go in and then, give us a look at that, and then it's gone.
I've never had shampoo. I was the kid that never brought a pencil to school, never brought soap. I didn't even bring a towel sometimes to training. You know, I was that guy, can you use that towel after you? The less smelly bollocks you can find. You're like, I'll use him.
But the hair looks great. What shampoo do you use?
Just whatever the hell's in the shower, flipping. But
does it have to be
Head and
conditioner or
Shoulders,
shower? Like,
I
shower with bleeding shampoo when I shower
gel, soap, whatever the hell is there.
She just be going mad at me, handing me all these different bottles.
If it's at home, we're well stocked up. It'd be Head and Shoulders. That's about it. Like.
She just be handing me with all these bleeding different bottles, and I'm like, I don't even know what go. Like, I'd be showering myself with conditioner, like on the body wash and all. She's like, that you need body wash for that. It's all the same.
When we got to the ring, and Floyd came into the ring and he had the belly on, and he took the belly off. I was like, that's Mayweather. Like, this is weird.
I was sitting
this is
watching that as
one of the greatest boxers to ever do it, and me and the team are challenging him. You know, this is unbelievable. Who gets to do this? And I mean, people might, all the boxers will probably say it's very unfair that, Conor got the chance to do it, but Conor brought so much to the table, and the game plan that we came up with, we were smart for most part, and we were doing all right. People that say Floyd was holding off or whatever, it doesn't make a difference. Conor still landed more shots than anybody had landed on him. And I was talking to a lot of good boxing guys, and people were giving me advice and helping me out a little bit as well. And somebody said to me, Mayweather can change his style on the flip of a coin, and he can change in many styles. And I was aware of that, and I was like, I thought my mentality was, he'll come out because he has an ego. He'll just come out. He'll come into the middle of the ring and he'll try and outbox Conor. And I says, Conor will land shots, definitely. Because I don't care. I used to say, no matter, if somebody fired a gun at Conor, fired a bullet at him, he would still slip and fire that left. Because that's not a conscious thought, that's a subconscious thought. And the way, how quickly his brain works, that would happen. And he landed. He was landing a slip uppercut, slip right hand. He was landing the shots. I was like, all right. So I says, Mayweather will play around with that for a bit, and then he'll sit on the ropes a little bit, and he'll play the shell, and he'll shoulder roll. He'll let Conor walk some shots and fire, and Conor was doing brilliant there.
Like, it would have enticed Conor to nearly got him there.
I'm going to throw more
again.
And as the rounds went on, I was like, Conor's getting a bit tired, and I was like, I was like, just hold for a round and get a breath back, because I knew we would have to take a round off once or twice throughout the fight, because going 12 rounds is going to be very, very difficult. We 3 months to get him.
And even the judges as well, you're probably going in there. Yeah. Like, it's hostile territory.
Yeah,
like, even the ref, when you look back at it, the ref hasn't even looked at Floyd Mayweather once, you know what I mean? So
you probably were never going to get, even if Conor had won every round, you were never probably going to get the result. And people, you get the heckler saying, yeah, but why didn't you watch Things fight where he walks him down and this and that? Look, at the end of the day, it is what it is, but I gave everything I had. I watched hours and hours and hours and hours of tape, and I I said to Conor, I think these shots are going to work. He said he watched hours and hours of tape. He said these shots are going to work, and we came up with these strikes and these strategies, and you know, and we done all right. And I gave it everything I could. So I have no regrets. Do you know what I mean? And you know, whatever people will say whatever they want, but I put my heart and soul into that camp, and I'm happy with what I done. You know what I mean?
See, that's the key to it. Don't fret about things you can't control.
I don't know.
Do you know
Man,
what I mean?
I just said that to them.
Yeah.
I said that to them this morning.
There's going to be loads of things. There's going to be loads of knockbacks. If you can't control it, don't worry about it. You just do the best you can possibly do. And like the chance of making it, it's no matter what you do, it's no automatic. It's still an if.
Oh, 100. Yeah.
So like
yeah, definitely.
you just have to make sure that if the call does come, you're ready.
You're ready.
And if the problem is, imagine if the call comes and you're not ready, and you know it falls away in front of you.
And mess with your head as well.
That's the worst thing.
Yeah.
So you stop messing about, like stop thinking, oh geez, he's not picking me, and oh because of this, and you know what I mean.
Definitely.
Like I was even thinking of cutting my hair. Like that's how bad I was going.
What?
Yeah, I know.
No way.
And,
I don't think they would have picked you.
Yeah.
I think when they picked you, they were like, "We need the best hair on the team."
Yeah. They probably were going, "Who's this lad?" No one recognised.
And then he's like, "She's got skills as well."
I literally got the book done, I think 5 days before the child was born, so thankfully there was no crossover there. It could have been a
Was there
hectic
a nice little peaceful moment after your kid was born?
Oh yeah,
That little week after is the best thing ever, isn't it?
Yeah, I took 2 weeks off work, and it was lovely to be able to know that the book was done. I was able to enjoy being in the company of my wife and the first child.
That's kind of like training for a fight in itself, and then you get your little bit of time off because they had to be intense sessions of like, and as well as chasing John, so you probably would have had to catch John because John's a busy man, you know what I mean? So you're kind of like trying to slot this all in with all that as well. So when say you're sitting down and like, did you have any arguments?
No, not
20
at all.
hours sitting down with others. I was just like, I wonder if they have any little tiffs or that. But John's not the kind of the guy to be able to, like you would have a tiff with, you know?
Yeah. I mean, from my dealings with John, I think he'd be a very difficult guy to find yourself in an argument with. Yeah. He's so laid back, as I said earlier, you know. But no, the whole thing was just really enjoyable. No, it was stressful and it was hard work.
Yeah.
But it was a pleasure to listen to his story and, you know, look where the stature of the man now and look where he's come from and to where he is now. You know, to have the opportunity to put his story into words was a huge honour, and I really enjoyed doing it. I didn't really think about how the book was going to do at that point. I was just so glad that we had the work done.
Yeah.
And then it was published in June, and the first day it was up on pre-sales on Amazon. It went to #1 on Amazon, and then when it came out and was published in the shops, it was straight to #1, and you know, with bestsellers lists and nominated for Irish Sports Book of the Year. Like I knew the book was going to sell well because of John's popularity. Nothing to do with my own the job I did on the writing
and the view from the other side of the camera of Conor as well, so people want to see that, you know.
No matter what was in the book, it was going to do well. But it was nice to get the feedback then, you know. There was a lot of tweets you get, you know. John has a huge following on social media, and so, like, you'd be tagged in some of the tweets, and like people look at John as almost like a Dalai Lama type character. People are like tweeting him asking for relationship advice and stuff like that, you know. And but yeah, like it was great to see how well it did, you know. As I said, all the, you know, getting to #1 and all that was great, but for me, getting the feedback of how well it did, or how it affected people's lives, and you know how much they enjoyed reading it, that was very satisfying. Yeah.
I fought on a card years ago in France with Overeem's brother Valentin on it, right? And I was only tiny. It was my second fight or something like that, and it was in a mad stadium out there fighting this maniac. And I'm sitting outside the hotel the night before, and Valentin's sitting on the step, like, and I'm like in shock at this guy. So we're going around all week with him. I kind of clicked to him a little bit, and he's this big, huge, massive Dutch heavyweight, and I'm this little skinny Irish Duns boxer wearing guy, you know, at that stage. And I'm weighing in on my Duns boxers, and Valentin has his like Gucci, you know what I mean, pants and all on. And I remember being just so overwhelmed by him. But Overeem's brother, and he was such a nice guy, my Valentin. Sick the day before, and he said, I need to kill this guy quick. And I'm like, why? He must stand outside the hotel. And he's like, oh, he was sick last week, I've no cardio. I'm like, you mad man thing. He said, imagine going to a fight not knowing that you're out of cardio. Goes out, 10 seconds, head kick, drops the guy.
No
said to
way.
him, drops the guy. And he's like, you said that to me. He's like, I told you. I mean, gets handed a big huge envelope full of cash, getting into a van, slides the door over, drives off like the A-team. It's like, he is so cool. I was trying to be a rapper. Wow. I used to call myself Casper because my skin was so pale. That's a dope name, though.
And at that time, Irish
Yeah.
hip hop would have been a guy named Collie Around. I think I said,
Wow.
you remember that song? God damn man, you're some sham. You know, people don't tell me, but people just tell me or something like that. Anyway,
Wow.
and like we
He was
were all,
rapping.
but
That's
what
dope, though, man.
when it started
Yeah.
off, I didn't know what rap even stood for. So rap stands for rhythmical American poetry.
Yeah,
Am I right?
wow.
So-
it might. I'm a rapper. I don't even know what the
Rap
hell it
stands
come
for
from,
rhythmical
man.
American poetry.
Yeah.
Where the guy used to say to us, "No, we're doing rip," and I was like, "No, that's just a rip off of rap." And he's like, "No, it's rhythmical Irish poetry, Paddy." You know what I mean? I'm like, I get it. So we were like, like talking like Yanks at the start, and then it was going like, "Yo, motherfucker," and then it was like, "What's the story, man?" Because it was had to be Irish stuff.
Like
you
the
know?
guy I met, my man Shane, that I was telling you about. I remember there's a lady named Layla Steinberg. She used to manage Tupac, you know. So one day she called me. This before I left the music industry. She called me one day and said, "Man, you have to meet this Irish rapper." She wouldn't stop calling me about this Irish rapper. And I was like, you know what, bring him to my house. So he walked in my house, big dude, Shane, you know, bald head, tattoos everywhere, boots up the hair. I'm like, man, is this dude a Nazi? You know, well, like, I'm like, man, this dude might got a steak knife in his boot.
Yeah,
Like,
that's it.
he big. So I'm like, what's up with him? So I was like, what's going on, homie? She said, you can rap. And he started rapping. And he sound exactly like Pac. He's an Irish Tupac. And at this particular time, I left the Outlaws and I was doing a solo album with Johnny J, who used to produce all the Pop songs. I said, man, you coming to the studio tomorrow. Came to the studio, put him on a song. I said, man, he was my first artist before I retired.
I think Darren Till can fight anybody. There's a lot of guys coming through the game, I think, that are like, I won't say, not of old school, but he's like that old school type, that ground all the way up. Like I heard a story of me. He got stabbed in Liverpool or something like that, and his coach told him to leave and move to Brazil. And he moved to Brazil. He didn't have any language. Learned Portuguese. Like one of these guys that literally, you know, like would have spent a lot of time on his own, learned a lot about himself. The time I was on Dublin card, he was on the same card. So he sat beside me at the press conference, and you can just get that energy off that. Like he is the real deal. You know what I mean? Now, if I nearly wet myself a little bit when the idea of him fighting Gunny Nelson came up. Now that I don't think is a good fight for Darren Till. I think Gunny Nelson is very good control and stuff like that. But Darren Hill hits like a piston. It's like pistons when he throws his hands. Like he butchered Donald Cerrone. Now, I'll go on a whim here. I would say Donald Cerrone said some stuff about him, but I don't think Donald Cerrone gives off the idea of being that guy. I'm a cowboy, I'm this and that. But Darren Till is that guy. He's the real deal, that guy. You know what I mean? And you just know when you know. You know what I mean? When you go in and a guy is like drying off his steaks in the dressing room, you know what I mean? He's like a man's man, you know? Darren Till's an animal. I'm a fan.
We'll kill ourselves in the gym. We'll do whatever, 10 5-minute rounds or something, and you're exhausted. You do a bit of cardio at the end, and everybody's on the ground. And they're like, I have nothing left. But there's stuff left, because if I brought a pit bull in here and I hoosed it, I guarantee you every single one of yous would be up off the ground and you'd scale the wall. You'd be up on top of the oak, and I guarantee you would do it, because your brain will always hold something in reserve, because it has to. Four times like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Paddy Moon, you never know what's coming
yeah,
through.
exactly. And that's the truth, like, you know what I mean? It's like when you were being chased and you're exhausted. You're being chased, you're out there doing something, and you're like, oh, I'm bollocks. And you look back and the bloke is still coming, or whoever's still chasing you, and you're like, oh shit, we have to go again, and you go again.
My own lad as well, like he plays on the road that I played on now as well. Like, and, do you know, I was actually sitting down the other day and I was watching Into the West with him.
Yeah.
Remember Into the West? And I show him all the
up
old
the Ballymun, a load of Ballymun and that was.
That's what I said. I was
around for the filming of that, Jesus.
I couldn't believe how much Ballymun has changed when you're looking at that film. Right at the start of it, when they're on the camp, and it's all flat on that field. Now that's like IKEA, and it's all of these things built up.
They were the fields, where all the horses used to be kept, like up and over the 7 pitches and stuff like that. And it was mad. I used to always remember the horses would get out every now and then, and you're talking 50 or 60 horses, and they'd come through the flats, And then they'd be in at you know, in past Balcurris where I lived just hopping through beside the flats there, and the big green where Ballymoney United used to play, where I used to play football for them there. But they'd be like 70 horses, and they'd be in at your garden and all. It used to be just
You'd be waking
mad
up
seeing, like waking up and there's like horses in the back garden, and I was like, this is nuts. But it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Everyone was losing their jobs and stuff like that. So a lot of people attached to the Irish invasion, if you must, which was
wow.
And then you
That
have
was the name of y'all crew.
yeah, that was it, crew. We were
That's
running in as
dope,
the
man.
Irish invasion. You know what I mean? Wrecking
So
places.
this is the original UFC champion right here, man.
We're
You
all-
know, we
I was
gotta give it up.
I was only thinking, it was the other day someone said to me, I have the first UFC win on Irish soil.
Wow, that's dope.
You know what I mean?
So you led the way for
I
the
met
rest.
the Vikings coming off that boat, and I was the first one to get a kill. So the idea of you go to Bahrain,
Yeah.
and the process towards that, even like you have to, you've got to generate your own money because we don't have a sports council for Irish mixed martial artists.
Absolutely. Well, we heard a couple of months before going over that we might get a uniform, which we didn't get. We actually got we got t-shirts that said Ireland on that our coaches paid for. So that was the most we got, and it was actually just funded by our own coaches. So we get absolutely no support. We had to create our own funding. So I set up a GoFundMe page. Which absolutely like flew off the wall. I can't believe how many people supported me. It was ridiculous. I exceeded my target on that, and then some people just met me and gave me handouts as well. So I can't be more grateful for everyone that got me over there. You know, I'm glad I'm coming home with something, and I think about the people that logged on and even put tenors and fires in and stuff. You know,
So there definitely should be a council towards, like, we are a fighting nation, the fighting Irish. We definitely should be getting sponsorships for martial arts.
and definitely for the amateurs. You know,
for the amateurs, 100%.
the amateurs, we're not making anything. You know, we're going out weekend after weekend competing in tournaments, and you know, there was, I think, a team of 15 of us that went out there last week, and all of us self-funded representing Ireland, and you know, we all put on a good show and did the best we could, and we came home with 2 medals. But imagine if there was a bit of money that went into us, you know, how far we could go. I think it is a bit unfair, and I suppose especially with Conor creating such massive revenue for the country, that maybe it's time for the Irish Council to recognise us as a sport and to support the amateurs.
Pac was a big brother to me. He was family to me. He was not like what the media portray him to be. You know, the media never really showed a true image of anyone, you know what I mean? Pac was more like we were speaking on our way coming here, he was only 25 years old, but the mentality of this individual, when I look back at it now, and I'm like, wow, he was 25 years old thinking like that back in the day, you know what I mean? So we got a lot of good from him. You know, for us, the Outlaws, we were just young kids that Pac was molding us and training us, and we didn't even know it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was definitely a hell of a ride, you know what I mean? Hell of a ride back in the day, man. I'm happy to be able to make it out of there, to be honest, you know what I mean?
And that is a huge part of it, is getting
sure.
to the other side of things.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So like Conor McGregor being one of my friends, I get asked probably the same question that I'm going to ask you, and I said I'll never
For
ask
sure.
a man this question, is like, I get asked, what's
Yes.
Conor really like? What's the real good like? And as I said, he would have been kind of like the, as you said, moulding guys. His brain,
sure.
his thoughts were well beyond his
for
generation.
sure. First of all, shout out to Conor McGregor, man. He
The
did
notorious.
something big, you know what I mean? He
Huge.
did something big, and I live in Saudi Arabia now, so I had to wake up about 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning to find the nearest buffalo wing spot just to watch the fight, you know?
and as I was saying to you, where like Tupac's lyrics reached a little council estate here in Dublin, in so many of them, like where you were saying now, someone from Dublin reached so far, like Saudi Arabia. You know?
And it's the ones that come from, like you said, y'all come from the projects, man. So we respect those that come from like rough beginnings and make it out of it. You know what I mean? Because we can relate. You guys can relate to us growing up in the hoods in America. We can relate to the Irish. I was telling Khalil, man, Irish people, even Americans, we know is known that Irish people are tough. You know what I mean? So
rough and
we
ready
love it.
is what my ma calls it. You were born rough and ready, son. Not neglected.
It's
incredible the bond you can have with your dog, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. One of my charities is actually, I'm raising money for this at the same time, for 3 charities through the row, and one of them is Madra out in Connemara.
Oh, excellent.
You know, they take dogs from out of the pounds, and they try and rehome them all around the world, you know. So yeah, I know I'm a big dog lover because of the relationship I've had and everything that's given me from owning a dog, you know. So I absolutely, you know, recommend everybody should get.
What kind of dog have you got?
I have a golden retriever.
A golden retriever,
Yeah.
so smart as anything.
Yeah, smart. Yeah, exactly. And I see a lot of me and emulated in him, and him emulated in me. You know,
I think that does happen. That does happen.
Yeah.
My own dog Frank he's kind of like me, but you know, he was the runt of the litter, and he's a little bit stupid. So sometimes she says it, and I'm like, I don't know if that's an insult or not, you know. But no, he definitely does things like me. He's food clever, you know.
Right,
like he knows when the food's going down. He knows where to be when it's falling. He positionally for food, he is perfect, you know. If you haven't downloaded the Limor app, download the Limor app. Follow Paddy Holohan, and then you can voice comment on what question you want to ask next week, and we'll play a comment and we'll try to answer it as best. But listen, only good comments. Bad comments just get deleted. We don't play them.
Which leads me to my next.
Now, we're not saying no banter. We're not saying no banter. You can say what you want.
So this first one is from the Irish Viking. I'm going to be honest, it's not the most riveting comment in the world, but we'll play it nonetheless.
Riveting. I love that word.
Hi Paddy, Simon Monaghan here, listening all the way from Gloucester, the United Kingdom. My question is, will you be eating Brussels sprouts or not eating Brussels sprouts this Christmas Day with your Christmas dinner?
That's one of the most serious questions that we've ever had in here, Robin. How dare you say that?
Absolutely,
That's
yeah.
a huge question, isn't
so
it?
we weren't.
Gloucester, you used to play for Gloucester, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Maybe I do.
So we weren't going to play that, but then we got another voice comment in, which I'll just play it.
Simon, shut your mouth or I'll shove them Brussels sprouts down your throat. Paddy, John Random here. Quick question for you. Who do you see as the next potential big star coming out of Ireland in the UFC? Who's he able to be in 2018?
Do you know what? That's the great thing about that Limor app. Because if somebody says something, somebody can literally say, like, it's off the bat.
Yeah.
If you like, shut your mouth, it just doesn't have the same effect as someone saying, shut up you, but anyway. And going on with the question. For the Irish Viking, 100%, I'm definitely 100% having Brussels sprouts. Only if they're cooked in the water that the ham was cooked in.
Yes.
That's the only way it can be done. You have to put real butter on it, and it has to be on that.
Crucial.
Like, come with the diet time, we used to mash Brussels sprouts up after having them in that and eat them in a bowl. Now it looks like dog shit, but it's like, and it's God. I love it. I told people to do that and they'd be like, because it being Brussels sprouts. How are you with Brussels sprouts, man?
Generally I'm not, but at Christmas when they're done like that and they're done properly,
You need proper Brussels sprouts. Like that's
Yeah.
it's like eating mini cabbages. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All at one. Lump. One at a time.
Get
Goodness.
them greens into it.
Oh, I love a bit of it. I love a bit of Brussels sprouts. Great question, Irish Viking. Dream guest to have on the show. There's a few people, because as I said, I like guys that you can just sit down and have a little banter about, and especially about kind of something that you can relate to, and someone that's a bit older than me as well, usually, because I can learn from it. I'd love to have Tyson Fury on. I think Tyson Fury's he's a great man. I conversate with him on WhatsApp and stuff like that, but I'd love to get him on because you never know what he's going to say, and I love how inspiring what he's doing now with moving forward and getting back, and it's the real Rocky kind of situation for him, you know what I mean? And as a professional athlete, I could tell like that, like everyone goes through troubles because the highest highs and the lowest lows, and you don't know how people are going to react to them things, you know?
Oh God, yeah. So I had an anxiety attack when I seen this week, right? Because you know I wouldn't be flashed like that, and I would be paranoid. Like people would be laughing at me wearing that stuff, right? So we went up. It was Connor's Sukhoi, or his partner now, David August, yeah. He was like, let's do something different, and he wouldn't tell us what was going on at all until the day before.
That freaked me out,
right? And I was like, I just want a pair of tracksuit pants and t-shirts. Do you know what I mean? That's all I want. And then he gave me these slacks and the suit, and I was like, oh my God. And I looked in the mirror and I was like, it looks like I'm going to the Snooker World Championships. Honest to God, because I had a little black band on my arm and all. I was like, it's basically going to the Crucible final. I'm going playing snooker, and I started getting panic. I was like, oh God, no. But like, then like Connor was like, he says, I think it looks rapid. Nobody's ever done anything like that. And the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what, fuck it, it's once in a lifetime. It looks slick, it's not appropriate, and it wasn't that practical, you know, jumping in and out of the ring. But yet August made he made it in material that was a little bit flexible and stuff like that. But yeah, at first I was a bit anxious, but then when I look back, we looked fairly slick. Like, you know what I mean? Well. You know, I still have that now. I do wear that outfit out every now and then.
Every
you know
now and
what I
then,
mean?
gaff you mean?
Yeah, when I'm down in the old snooker hall in Ballymun.
On this week, 2 years ago, since Nate Diaz called out Conor McGregor after that fight.
Yeah. No way, that's not 2 years ago, is it?
Yeah, where he says to the mic, Conor McGregor, you're taking everything I work for, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's it.
That one.
Perfect.
Taking it, you know, I'm the real money fighting. That's what it is, like that, isn't it? Yeah. That 2 years already.
2 years, yeah. I saw that yesterday. Ariel Helwani tweeting that, yeah.
The years are just getting faster. Go on, boy.
A lot's happened since.
That was probably the best decision he ever made in his career by saying that, because he's probably tripled or quadrupled his net worth since that interview, I'd say, to what he is. So, and that's the fight game. You know, like he's a skilled fighter. He knows that he could call somebody out that's a skilled fighter and make a lot of money on it because people are going to pay that. Now, if Nate Diaz was somebody that couldn't fight, I don't think anybody would have tuned in to pay that fight. You know, so that's why the idea of the foundation is essential. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
2 bleeding years, man.
Yeah, he's a great fighter. I mean, just to add to what you said there, Jeremy Stevens tried it, didn't he, in that other press conference?
That's how not to do it.
Yeah. And he's most known for being who the fuck is that guy now? Like, that's mental.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd say if he could rewind time and not say that there, he would have been like, he's like, I'm going to say it. And all of a sudden he's speaking, his buddy saying, say nothing.
Yeah.
Back up. We're nothing to do with you. That's inside his head. You know what I mean? You're on your own.
Yeah.
That was it. His dignity just left the room, I'd say, after that.
You could tell when he opened his mouth that this is not going to end well for you. You know, something bad's going to happen here.
He even stuttered a little bit, you know what I mean? Like literally background noise. Hello, darkness, my old friend. That's what it would have been there, wouldn't it? After that got said.
Yeah, the League of Ireland does need investment, regardless of where it's going to come from. It does need investment, but I mean, traditionally, do you make a profit from the League of Ireland? No, you don't. So that would have the alarm bells ringing for sure. Yeah,
they're a victim of their own success in many ways. You know, lost a lot of their players, and now anyone looking outside Ireland would probably think they probably profile the league much higher than it actually is because of their exploits against the big teams. So they are an attractive offer. I think an American owner gets over here, it's like, whoa, this is actually the setup. Particularly Oriel Park, like. This is a shithole. Yeah, let's be honest.
It has. But it has a charm in kind of. I like the old school grounds like that. I'm just kind of, I suppose, coming up with a League of Ireland background, going to football. Like I know I always like the shitty old grounds. That's probably has a charm for me. But it's, if you're trying to attract new fans, bringing kids to places like that, or United Park, it has to be said for balance as well, is another dump. But all due respect to everyone involved with Drogheda United, but they're not the kind of grounds you're gonna generate new fans.
It's no Palace Stadium, lads. Let's say that.
It's no Turner's Cross, Paddy.
It's not.
Yeah.
Well, you're missing half of your stadium at the minute.
It's just the roof. We'll get it back. I blew up the road.
It's in the neighbour's garden. Looking out, you're like, the stadium's in the garden, lad.
Some of it was in the houses behind the ground. When the storm of Ophelia happened.
How did you get on with that stuff? Because did you get hit with a bed?
Not where I was. I mean, we stayed in and there was nothing major. My wheelie bin blew over. That was the hardest thing that we had to deal with.
But that's tragic.
The school down the road, the gym, the roof of the gym blew off. Yeah. There was some, and one of my wife's friends, she lives next door to Simon Coveney, the Taoiseach. And she texted us that morning saying Simon Coveney had knocked at the door and said, "Apologies, but my shed's in your back garden." So there was a couple of mad things happened around, but we weren't too bad. Yeah.
We haven't met anybody that's actually like, oh no, it wasn't near me. I'm like, I think that was a rumour. That storm was a big rumour, is what it was. They just all wanted a day off. Because guys are saying like about violence, they were like, fighting is violent and stuff like that. And I'm like, let me tell you what violence is. When it's two guys with fists, it's not violence. I said, on the street, yeah. But I said, when guys start pulling guns, then that's violence. I said, you know what we need to do? We need to get guys like that Don Young Kim. You need to get Donald Trump, throw them into an octagon, let them have a knock. And I guarantee you make one fight card a year. So you get Jerry Adams and Ian Paisley had to be alive. You could, make all of these kind of like matches. in a fantasy, obviously. People are like, Paddy wants to create new. But
For sure, wasn't there used to be an MTV death match?
yeah, like
Remember
that.
Celebrity
That
Death.
was
Celebrity death match.
that,
That's it,
that
yeah.
was perfect.
That was brilliant.
That was
yeah.
perfect. That
Yeah.
was. Brings me to my no shame question for you.
All right.
And if we had to do it on a celebrity death match, I'm sure these guys would have an awesome fight. Would you be Ronan O'Gara or Sexton? What team would you be? Because I know there's a situation there where
Well, like I'd have to.
both have different things. But
Yeah. No, I'd have to go with Sexton because I'm a Leinster lad as well. But there's one thing with O'Gara, like Sexton kind of is a bigger man, had more complete game, meaning that physicality and stuff like that.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
Ronan was a master tactician, and Ronan in the tight game, right? If there was a scenario where you're behind by a point, and you needed somebody with a big pair of balls to stand up and to take a kick or take a drop goal, that was Ronan. There is no best, better than Johnny, better than any player out there for that. He would look for that scenario. He would hunt that out. His confidence in himself was unbelievable, and he was brilliant at executing them. But he had a pair of balls on him, I tell you. Like, he would just literally, no fear whatsoever, and that's what you want. And number 10 is the pivotal, the mind behind everything, making sure everything works. And when you need an execution, because in my position, you can only affect what's in front of you. You're dealing with something all the time, where he can sit back and manoeuvre it and do it, and he would get us to get him into a position where he can take that kick. And there was no better man, absolutely, on the planet.
I seen a little dog as well on Instagram.
Yeah,
What's
Koa.
his name? Owe?
Koa.
Koa?
Yeah, it means brave.
Gorgeous. Oh, does it?
Yeah,
Brave.
yeah.
He is gorgeous, he is. So, if your house was on fire and Al was in one room and he was in the other
Oh God,
room,
this is a really tough question.
would
Okay,
Koa get out or would Al get out?
I know how to answer this. So Alan will look after himself, whereas Koa is not able to open the door handle, so I'd have to go from her. But I'd give him a shove first to make sure he's awake and say, "You need to sort your shit out because I'm going to get the dog."
That would be Chelsea with me as well. When I was talking to Chelsea about actually asking you this question, she was like, "Oh, don't ask me this. You won't want to know the answer." And I know that with the answer, I would be burning in that house. The dogs would be outside. A no shame question. If you had to fight somebody in Irish MMA, if it was you in an anchorman situation, who would you fight?
Definitely Neil Seary.
Neil Seary?
Definitely Neil Seary, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, he'd kick my ass, but I'd at least be a
You
Cork
would hear
Dublin
him
thing.
once, would you?
The Cork Dublin thing will get me riled up, at least I'd be motivated by that. I'd probably
Have you
get
heard
the
any
best
good
out of
stories
myself.
of Neil Seary abusing you? Because I'm sure there's one of them.
There was years where that man tormented me
But you actually have to
online.
get Neil Seary on this, that'd be deadly.
He's essential, yeah. Oh, he's brilliant. I love him to bits, but he tormented me online for years. Just the Cork thing. Whenever Cork would lose a match, I'd have a tweet straight away from Seary, taunting me. But
When's the last time you shit yourself as a grown man?
It's not springing out to me, man.
Come on, we've all had a shit ourselves story.
Don't. I'm on the spot. Jesus.
So what about the boat journey? There's going to be close.
It's called a bucket and chuck it.
Bucket and chuck
Yeah,
it.
basically it's a simple builder's bucket. Now I've put the luxury of a toilet seat around it, for a tiny bit of comfort.
Oh, that's the
and
Irishness.
that's it, man. And it gets chucked overboard the minute it happens.
And what? I don't know, with sharks following you after that, the size of you would be like, this fella lobbing food overboard. In the desert in the race, did you not shit yourself there?
I didn't shit myself. Well, I didn't. It didn't physically touch me. I walked to the side. Did whatever everyone else was doing, and pulled down my cax and just had looked for a little tuft of grass.
That has to be a mad moment. Everyone just.
It was mental, man. Like at one stage, I was quite conservative. Like I'd go 20 meters away, but at one stage, people would just be like 2 foot in front of you, 3 foot in front of you. They just step to the side, drop their cax.
You can sand up the hole. That's what I'd be doing.
Yeah, they wasn't wanted to walk a little bit further, but yeah, no. When you first see it, you're a little bit taken back, especially when a woman does it.
Oh, that wouldn't be easy. Yeah.
No.
Oh, coming back and just looking at normal citizens, then oh my god, it's within you all. What's the worst thing you've ever found in your waste management business?
Oh my god. Yeah, there's been parts found up in the dumps.
Bodies?
Yeah, that we go with parts.
Oh,
yeah.
Parts? Well,
yeah. Oh, well, it was
belong
on
to
the
somebody.
news there recently. Yeah, and you know they're in areas that you're dumping, so you don't know if it was your trucks or who brought them in. Do you know what I mean? But like, your people are just crazy with waste. Like the people putting dead cats into recycling and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, into recycling. Oh, sure, you can recycle it. And you're like, what are you?
It's a dead cat
in with
buried
the
in-
cardboard, like.
yeah, fold it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are we done?